Hello and welcome to our event today, Vendor and Product Showcase, DSG Technologies Advancing Financial Inclusion. The event is organized by Global Communities with the support from the FAHU Foundation. We can go to the next slide. My name is Paula Rudnika, and I am a Senior Technical Advisor for Gender Integration at Global Communities. I am also a manager of the DSG Hub. I am joined today by 9 DSG vendors and innovators who will showcase their products shortly after my presentation. And then they will invite you to their virtual booths where they will discuss their products in greater details. The booths will be open until 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The DSG Hub will host a booth as well, where my colleagues and I will be very happy to answer any questions that you might have about the DSG Hub and our growing DSG community. We will not have a Q&A during this plenary. Please note that this portion of the event is being recorded, but unfortunately we are unable to film the virtual booths, so we really encourage you to join the booths live and participate in the booths directly with the vendors. We can go to the next slide. We have organized today's showcase to introduce the new and improved DSG vendor and products tool on the DSG Hub, and also showcase a wide range of digital technologies developed for savings groups. Next slide, please. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the DSG Hub, we are an online learning and community platform aimed at facilitating effective, safe, and inclusive digitization of savings groups. We have 2 key objectives: share high-quality resources so that we can all learn from successes and shortcomings in the sector, and also to co-create a community of practice so that diverse stakeholders like you can connect, exchange knowledge and ideas, and perhaps even plant seeds for future collaboration. Next slide. To set the stage, we define digital savings groups as savings groups whose procedures, records, or transactions are digitized in some ways, typically through the use of mobile phones and applications. Next slide. At the highest level, there are 2 DSG models: digital ledgers, which digitize the operations and record keeping of savings groups, and digital wallets, which digitize financial transactions through the use of mobile money and instead of cash. In practical terms, digital solutions available on the market today vary widely in terms of functionalities, coverage, costs, and also hardware and network requirements. For example, some applications offer credit scoring and e-learning tools, while others incorporate in-app messages and microsurveys. And some require access to the internet, while others work completely offline. Because savings groups operate in very different and diverse contexts and members represent diverse backgrounds, a digital solution that works well in one community may not be well suited for another. Since no single solution is tailored for every single circumstance, organizations that introduce digital technologies to savings groups should exercise care in choosing solutions that really meet the needs, interests, and digital capabilities of savings groups members. To help implementers make sound decisions about digitization, we have created the DSG Vendors and Products tool, which is shown on this slide. First, we developed a booklet that's titled Technology Solutions Overview, and then we transformed the booklet into an interactive page on the DSG Hub. We can go to the next slide. Currently, the DSG Vendors and Products tool features 10 leading DSG solutions. They are pictured on this slide. They are organized alphabetically and they are not ranked or assessed in any way. And that's because the DSG Hub is strictly vendor neutral. We do not endorse any particular vendor or any particular solution. So the information about each solution was provided to us by the vendors themselves. Soon we'll be adding 2 more solutions to our catalog, so please stay tuned. We'll be sending information about these new solutions via our social media and also our newsletter. We can go to the next slide. The tool consists of 2 parts. The first part is a comparative overview of the solutions in the table format, as you can see on this slide, allowing readers to easily identify and compare the range of features and requirements. Next slide. The part 2 includes detailed descriptions of each solution, vendors' contact information, and links to supporting materials. Each featured solution has a dedicated subpage on the DSG Hub, like the one presented on this slide. If you are interested in featuring your solution in our directory, please fill out our online submission form, which is linked on the Hub. You can also email us at info@dsghub.org, and we will be very happy to assist you. Next slide. I have no doubt that the success of the DSG Hub and our tools will depend on active involvement and participation from DSG community members like you. So I highly encourage you to visit the Hub, to register as a member, to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, follow us on social media, propose content, share ideas, write blog posts, and also fill out our user engagement survey. We have really launched the survey to learn how we are doing and how we can strengthen our community. So we would love for you to fill out the survey and give us your suggestions. Next slide. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for joining us. Our website is www.dsghub.org. We can be reached via email, info@dsghub.org. We are on Twitter, the DSG Hub, and we are live tweeting right now. So please join our conversation online with a hashtag DSG Showcase. I will now turn it over to our participating vendors who will give their short presentations. And today I would like to warmly welcome 9 presenters. We'll be joined today by Sona Gandhi, Managing Director of Chamoka at CARE, Kunde Bear, CEO of Cyclos, Wes Wasson, CEO and co-founder of Dreamstart Labs, Cindy Mwangi, Product Manager and at Simbuco, Bomasanyiri Patience, Public Relations Officer at Exus, Edgar Wagimeri, Technology Specialist at Grameen Foundation, Sophie Blackstad, CEO of Hive Online, Marine Crest, Head of Business Partnerships at Mikash Box, and finally we also have Innocent Minanga, Information Technology and Livelihoods Advisor at PACT. I apologize for any mispronunciations. I would now like to welcome Sona from Chamoka to our virtual stage. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sona Gandhi. I'm the Managing Director for Chamoka. It's my pleasure to be with you here today. Next slide, please. Chamoka is a smartphone-supported tool which offers savings groups, and women in particular, a low-risk entry point to the digital economy and a path to transition from informal to formal financial inclusion. We're currently focused in 5 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, 3 countries in East Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, and 2 countries in West Africa, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, and we are eager to expand. We focus primarily on rural savings groups, which are comprised primarily of women, who have little to no prior experience with smartphone usage. Next slide, please. Chamoka achieves the transition for savings groups from a traditional paper-based process to a digital one by offering the features that are traditional and typical to most paper-based methodologies. So whether it's creating a constitution or tracking attendance and fines, or of course, performing share out, these are all things that Chimoka will assist a savings group perform. As a result of performing these functions in a digital manner rather than the traditional paper-based manner, we have some immediate benefits in terms of the decrease in the time associated with savings group meetings and the increase in transparency as these functions are performed digitally. The other benefits that accrue as Chimoka performs these functions is that through the data that is created, we're able to create financial and behavioral profiles of our savings groups and our savings group members, which can be used to create credit scores, which are essential for creating linkages to financial service providers and the transition to formal financial inclusion. Next slide. Since most of our communities operate in environments with little to no reliable internet connectivity, we're proud that Chimoka can work completely offline, whether in performing the functions of running a savings group meeting or in backing up data. Data is backed up and able to be viewed in real time in a Chimoka dashboard, which can be used by stakeholders to view real-time performance data to monitor savings group activity. Next. Chimoka had an impact study performed, and I think that the results are really the most important impacts that Chimoka has had. Basically, an overwhelming number of savings group members have indicated that due to the increase in transparency in moving from a traditional paper-based to a digital financial solution, they trust their savings groups more, and as a result, they're willing to save more. The increase in savings then results in an increased access to capital. So I'll leave it there and invite all of you to join my colleague Anatol, who will be leading a demonstration of Chimoka in the vendor booths that follow the presentations. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Koen. I was born in Belgium, but actually my whole working experience has been Latin America and a bit of Africa. We started with microfinance a long time ago, and now we moved to digital payments for financial inclusion. And we did that with the Cyclus payment platform. Cyclus is a visionary project of the Dutch Foundation STRO to make digital payments and transactions available and affordable for local communities, organizations, and local governments. This is not a new software, so there's a lot of years of experience and development practice. So there are many features which you can add on. It's a very secure software, and it's scalable, so that makes it a very reliable partner for the future, for growth and for diversification. Next slide, please. So what we have done, we've taken the Cyclus technology and we built special products for savings groups. Actually, it's a complete set of products. We have in the middle the group app, which have a screenshot. On the left side, we have the member mobile wallet, which is optional, which members can use. We have on the right side, we have as well the digital portfolio for field agents, so they can monitor and manage the groups. Next slide, please. And we have the back office with management of users, information, and powerful insights. Next slide, please. What makes us very special, and I said, Paula said it in the beginning, there are different methodologies, so we focus a lot of customization and flexibility. We know that one size does not fit it all. So we have worked on making it as flexible as possible with a lot of features and parameters, so we can get as close as possible to each organization methodology, and we're open to further develop this flexibility. Branding as well is very particular for us because we do not want our brand to be projected to groups and to members. We want the brand of the organization, so you have a better communication, you can connect more to users and to groups. And you can even put the tools, the apps on the store under your name and under your brand. We have about 40 languages, but even each language you can still customize. So each organization can use its own terminology. So you can even connect again better with your audience and the groups and the users. Reports, we know as well that organizations want to have their own particular reports. So we work on that, we customize reports, we build new reports, and we can integrate the software to third-party softwares as well without any problem. Next slide, please. We have a lot of experience, a lot of years in the field, so we share that experience with all organizations. So actually, we're more than just software or a service company or service social enterprise. So we help with the implementation, we do design or setup of the pilot, we help with training, we do data migration, so you don't have to start with new groups. You can do that with groups which have already started or have opened the cycle. And we have a help desk for the organization and even for groups, so that makes the experience very positive and enriching for all parties. All our supporting services, we can do that in English, Espanol, Portuguese, and as well on Francais. Next slide, please. So, concluding, Cyclus is not a new software, so there's a lot of experience. So this avoids all these troubles of a new software. So there's a long background history, which you can count on. Secondly, it's a complete set of tools. Customization is very highly, so you can get as close as possible. We have a very great support level, which makes the experience very unique. And we have, today we have all the attendants here in the vendor. We have a special gift. So if you send us a mail today to Koen Cyclos, or you go to our website and go to contact and send us a message, we will send you a special gift. It's not Belgian chocolates, but it is something which will help you very much when you want to set up a digital project for savings groups. Thank you very much, and we'll wait for you in the booth, in the Cyclos booth. See you.
Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today on the DSG Hub event. My name is Wes, and I am the CEO and co-founder of DreamStart Labs. The flagship product that we will be focusing on today is called DreamSave. And you'll see on the next slide, we like to think of DreamSave as the fast, fun, easy way to manage your savings group. Now, you may not hear a lot of us today talking about fun in the context of digital savings groups, but we actually think that's a pretty important aspect. If groups don't fall in love with the technology, then you're never going to have something that's sustainable. So we put a lot of effort into designing a beautiful experience for the groups. It's highly visual, has sound and animation. Members can earn fun awards as they go through it. And what we find is that the result of this is that members and groups save more. They have greater trust and transparency with their groups, and they achieve their personal goals faster. DreamSave is 100% free. The brand new DreamSave 2.0 version was just released on the Google Play Store, so you can check it out and download that now yourself. It also works 100% offline. So we've really designed this and optimized it for rural communities that are first-time smartphone users. Next slide, there's a companion product to the DreamSave app called DreamSave Insights. So as groups are meeting in the field, DreamSave Insights automatically collects their data, provides all of the data that you're tracking today for your M&E reports, but adds a lot more rich information because of the additional data that we can collect from the groups. That also then can be used to export data to popular solutions such as Microsoft Excel, Power BI, or your own custom report systems. Next slide. So how DreamSave works, this is actually quite straightforward. DreamSave requires one smartphone per group, right? So this replaces the paper ledger systems that the groups use today. Groups can set up basically any configuration and constitution and policies that they use. DreamSave then manages every step of the meeting, makes that process very easy for the leaders of the group. Every member gets an opportunity to interact with the app throughout the course of the meeting. And this results in cutting the meeting times in half, automating all the complex calculations, and eliminating errors and fraud and things of that nature. At the end of the meeting, every member in the group receives a personalized SMS message on their basic phones, as loan reminders, has their goal progress, and also tells them exactly how much they're saving, what their group is doing, etc. As I said, all of this works offline. We have a technology that even if the app is turned off, automatically collects that data. You then can see it as a partner in our DreamSave Insights solution. We're also generating digital credit scores for each groups that can be used through our banking portal with banks, microfinance institutes, and other MFI partners. Next slide. DreamSave is available around the world. We're in over 20 countries today, over 20 languages. We put a lot of effort into providing a rich, engaging experience, customized and personalized and localized for each country. Next slide. We've also been at this for a while and have been very fortunate to receive multiple honors in this space: Best Developing World Technology, Best App, Most Empowering Digital Banking Technology. DreamStart Labs is also one of the top 50 startups for financial inclusion in this space. So in the next slide, we would very much welcome all of you to join my colleagues in our booth today. I'd be happy to share more about DreamSave, DreamSave Insights, and give you a chance to ask your questions, understand more how it might be used in your organization. Thank you very much.
Hello. Good evening, good morning, wherever you're joining from. My name is Cindy Wabnoha, a product manager at Ncivuco. I'll be taking you through Mobi's product for groups, digital savings groups that we work with. It's been such a success for us that we've actually now started to run a spin-off that we are now rebranding to GroupSave. So you might hear Mobis or GroupSave, but it's because we are in that transition. Next slide, please. Next. So about GroupSave, in summary, it's a combined solution that consists of a partner dashboard that really helps the partners that are on a digitization journey with some of their groups. With that same dashboard, you're able to do a couple of things like migrate old information, see certain insights and analytics about groups, you know, and make decisions about how their digitization journey is going. But most importantly is a mobile application that's used by the group leadership, because we are all aware that not everyone in a group may be able to have a smartphone. So this mobile application is mostly a digital ledger and obviously used for record keeping and so much more of the things I'll tell you about. And then lastly is a USSD application for group members so that they are able to do basic checks on, you know, things like their balances and not get locked out of the cycle. And I'll mention also that the mobile app is an offline fast application. So without internet, the group is still able to continue. Next slide. The main services offered by VSL to VSLS, these are village savings groups, but we just have that as a broad name here, but for all savings groups. As I said, the digital ledger, which helps them do reconciliations, do, you know, meeting registration, and just run their day-to-day. But most importantly, we have been on a journey of about 2 years where we've been backed on things that provide real value to the group. So I'm proud to talk about the wallet, first of its kind, at least here in Uganda. So groups are able to transfer money from that cash box into a digital wallet that's powered by the mobile money partners we deal with. Then we also do credit scoring. We're able to score a group and know how much they're eligible for, offer them digital loans. We have a platform that helps them with learning and training. We have a marketplace that connects them to dealers, things like solar panels and inputs. And most recently, we do have a bank transfer option. We also have a lot of things coming up. We have micro equity and so many interesting things now that really, that's where the fun stuff starts. So that is what we are doing at GroupSafe. Next slide. We also have asset loans, small, simple asset loans, things like bicycles, ox plows that are delivered to groups to help them be able to earn more and do more with their savings than just accumulate savings. We also have crop insurance because agriculture is a big thing this side of the region. So we are also focusing on how to get their actually personal finance and group finance better by earning more. Yeah, next slide. So as you see, this is the basic feature phone that a normal person would access and be able to do things like apply for a loan, view their active loans, their savings balance, their last 4 transactions, and things like that. So no one is locked out, and we're able to do so much more. I really invite you to join us in our vendor booth. It will be run by Roger. Roger Nyakakuma, he's our general manager. Please interest yourself to come and see what's great things we're working with at Nsiboko. Thank you for listening.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I'm Shema Steve. I'm the CEO at Exis. Just sharing what we're doing at Exis with our product Sev, where we're trying to digitize informal savings groups by empowering them with a digital wallet and providing them with microloans, microinsurance, and more services that are coming their way. So these one page just pretty much shows you what we've been able to achieve so far. This is as of September, I think, last year. We were able to digitize over 6,000 groups, counting over 100,000 users, working with over 1,200 agents. And as you can see, we've also we've been able to process cumulatively over 700,000 USD. So all of this primarily through our USSD app that's accessible by most users because obviously most of them can't afford smartphones. Also, even those that can afford smartphones, you're looking at an issue of internet penetration. So everything is done digitally. They have a collective digital wallet that's then connected to their individual digital wallet. All their record keeping are kept and viewed by all members, but also our NGO partners have access to a dashboard whereby they can visualize this data real time and be able to really see what's happening with their groups and the growth, the impact that that's doing. In terms of the impact we've been able to achieve, obviously we've included over 100,000 users because we are connected with a bank which holds the deposits of all these savings groups. Also, we last year were able to secure a micro lending license, which through partnerships with the banks, NGOs, we're going to be able to extend microloans, non-secured microloans to these groups, and the objective for these microloans to be instant. We also have plus 70% of our users are women. And this year we're planning, we're hoping, at least that's something we are working towards too, given obviously the focus on women and the fact that most the women that use our platform are smallholder farmers. We're thinking of setting up a 100,000 USD microloan fund that exclusively targets these women. So yeah, that's all we have for you, at least for this presentation. We'll be happy to share more details in our booth. Feel free to come by, and thanks for having us.
Hi, everyone. Thanks very much for inviting me to pitch today. I'm Sophie Blackstad, and I'm using my 30 years of experience building global financial systems to help bring more people into the digital economy. Hive Online's VSLA.online supports savings groups in rural and frontier communities. It's configured to help people with limited financial, technical and functional literacy manage their savings, lendings and group accounting with a third of the data for WhatsApp. It operates a minimum of one device like everyone else. So nobody's left behind, everyone gets an account. Next slide, please. Because of the demographic, it's a deceptively simple interface giving access to robust back-end services. It supports 5 different funds that can be configured differently. Every member gets a digital wallet, ID, and digital history. They can even store on no-touch digital vouchers for seeds or other assets. Next slide, please. Members can have either standard or Islamic banking within the same group. They can cash out mid-cycle or at the end of the cycle. We manage cash accounting, and we can integrate with mobile money for groups using digital payments. Loans are calculated using a secure core banking loan portfolio manager, and all the transactions are recorded on blockchain, making it tamper-proof. When the secretary starts the meeting, we notify officers and anyone with a phone that a meeting is live and transactions are happening. Meetings can run offline, but we encourage connecting once a week so that to maintain data integrity, and we find that's usually quite fine. Next slide, please. Because it's built on low energy blockchain, groups can hold assets without having to be tied to a bank or financial institute. We've been selected by the Mozambique Central Bank's regulatory sandbox to license our financial services, and we'll operate our competitively priced digital money under a mobile money license. We take consumer protection seriously and we're GDPR compliant. Next slide, please. Through our dashboards, NGOs can monitor user behavior, saving 30% of their spend on resources and logistics. Financial institutions can get accurate, reliable data for KYC and credit evaluations. Next slide, please. But the Hive Online ecosystem offers a whole lot more. We know that savings groups can be a gateway to more successful businesses. So our savings group members can easily become cooperatives with our mycoop.online. My Co-op gives them crop management and education, commercialization tools, and much, much more. Next slide, please. Their identities and wallets are portable, so they're not tied to a location, an NGO, or even Hive Online. We're multi-language, suitable for nearly all African countries. By joining Hive Online, group members are joining a new financial ecosystem, the first step on the ladder to the digital economy and to building commercial success. Our sustainable business model means that after setup costs, we operate on revenue from lenders and buyers. Next slide, please. Our innovative approach and proven traction has won recognition from the experts, including MIT Sol's Digital Inclusion and the Heifer Prize for smallholder farmers. Thank you very much indeed for listening. If we can go to the next slide, I hope you will visit our booth and learn more about it.
All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. Good afternoon, good morning, and all that. My name is Edgar. I'm a tech specialist working with Grameen. Grameen is a global nonprofit dedicated to empowering the poor, especially women, through financial inclusion, digital agriculture, and every other aspect of economic. So, Major League is a product from Grameen. It's a fully functional Android-based digital security platform that enables groups to have access to formal financial services, to monitor their day-to-day meetings in their groups, access to savings and loans, and this is all available to partner NGOs through dashboard accounts, you can manage the progress of the groups, the loans, and all that. It is well suited for communities, especially those with probably low levels of education. So I'll just give you a small run through from your screen. Right now, what you're seeing is the landing page for LedgerLink. Ideally, this is what a normal user would see in the group, probably like a chairperson or a group secretary, or the person handling the phone for the group. We have a very simple interface, meeting, cycle members, share out, and all these are very interactive. If I could just show you quickly what the meeting would go through, we would have simply something as simple as this, and you're able to go through the entire process of the meeting, the registrations of the members, attendance, the summary. It keeps a record of the previous meeting data. This includes the servings and all that. So this is the dummy group that I use for demos normally. So there's really no data here being pushed to the cloud. Yeah, so you have all these other tabs that do handle all the group day-to-day activities. And the bit with LedgerLink is that it's an offline instance. So whether the group has access to internet or not, they can still be able to function normally. Then at any given point of the day, when they do have access to internet, they can come back and still share the information, and it's accessible to the cloud. So I'll be hosting the booth with my colleague, Pinky, and would love to have you have a more interactive session with LedgerLink, maybe get to know more about what we offer. And maybe one last thing I'd like to mention is that LedgerLink is free to use for all partners, provided you do provide the education to group members and all that, but it's a free to use platform. So thank you so much. I hope to see you there.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Maureen Kress, and I'm responsible for business partnerships at MeCashBox, which is an app that brings saving groups online. I understand that I have 3 minutes to present, so if you want to learn more about MeCashBox, please join me in the booth after the presentation. I will be there in person to meet you. So there are really 3 things I want to leave with you today that really describes who we are as an organization. First of all, we're passionate. Financial inclusion is really at the core of what we do. Our founder, Sultan Maseli, is from Sierra Leone and has grown up solving challenges for the financially excluded through technology. In fact, his own education was funded by his mother being part of a savings group. So he has first-hand experience of the benefits, but also the challenges faced by these groups. Second, our tech is really designed to the user's needs. It's reliable, flexible, and very easy to use. And third, supporting and helping you and your users is our priority. So hopefully this will come across in my short presentation. So about the landscape. So we all know that saving groups are very helpful for people to manage their finances, but there are a lot of challenges from a user's and a sponsor's perspective. Challenges around data accuracy, and also users really break out of their informal cycles to climb up the financial ladder. They remain invisible from banks and financial institutions. And also these programs can sometimes be resource intensive and quite unscalable for the sponsors. So MeCashBox has been designed specifically to break this status quo and augment the power of saving groups. Next slide, please. So our solution, what is MeCashBox? So we created an app that brings saving groups online to address the challenges I just mentioned. With MeCashBox, the users can easily and safely transact with their saving groups online, and all of this is visible on your own bespoke dashboard. Next slide, please. So on this next page, we're showing you a couple of pictures of the user interface. So what the app does, it does all the record keeping and automates all the calculations for the group. It also gives users regular updates with SMS, so they're fully informed about the status of their saving groups. Last but not least, users can also build a health score and a financial profile in the app over time. And importantly, the app works offline, which is usually important for users in rural areas. The data will basically simply sync when they are next online. Next slide, please. So on this next page, we're showing you a brief illustration of the dashboard you will get as a sponsor organization. So the dashboard can really help you to manage and scale up your programs. It gives you up-to-date data and analytics on all your groups in a consolidated view. And it's really helping you to automate the data collection and the reporting. Next slide, please. On this last page, I just wanted to show you a couple of testimonials from the users, the group coordinators, but also the financial institutions we're working with. Also, we recently deployed the app to groups in Nigeria with care in the areas of Yobe and Nobu. And what we heard is that it was very easy for the women to use the app and to download it, even with a very wide range of financial and digital literacy. So I'll just pause here because I know that I am at time. So thank you for listening. And I really look forward to meeting you and answering all of your questions in the booth.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you can all hear me. My name is Innocent Finanga. I am a technology library advisor with PACT, and allow me today to walk you through a quick story of back in my wealth. Thanks. Next slide, please. Great. Part of an organization is an international NGO that started around 50 years ago, and we are working around more than 40 countries, and specifically we're working with marginalized and vulnerable populations. And as of our thematic areas, we're working in global health, in governance, in capacity building, in livelihoods, energy, environment, and mining. All of the thematic areas, we're working to see how beneficiaries they can build their own systematic solutions and become resilient over time. Next slide, please. A further bit more into one of our thematic areas being livelihood. We have been able to create and develop a VSLA model called WEalth. WEalth was developed in 1998 around Nepal, so it has been around for more than 25 years or so, on which beneficiaries come together and they start saving and start creating some loan access from the savings they provide. And these beneficiaries are cut across from beneficiaries being young women, also those young women, minors, and also the population have been marginalized by disease and so forth. So after the successful implementation of WEalth for more than 25 years, around 8 years ago, we came together and looked at the model and developed an Android application called My WEalth application. So My WEalth application is basically an Android application that works on digitizing the whole saving structure of a WEalth model. So WEalth involves saving and learning, but on top of that, it's more than traditional VSL model. It says that we have built some curriculums and trainings and learnings under the WEalth model. So in that case, that goes also for My WEalth. Apart from digitizing the service structure, make sure that the tool reduces pain gaps such as errors coming from complex calculations during the meetings, saving more time for the members so they can engage in other meeting issues, but also make sure that we create some credit histories that could provide more access and linkages to financial inclusion of these beneficiaries. Next slide, please. So apart from talking only about what My WEalth does, we could talk about the current status of My WEalth in terms of what we've achieved so far. My WEalth is more than a traditional digital tool for saving and lending. We have been able to include features that address one more step apart from saving. So we do have a complete e-learning module built up into the Android application, which provide training and resources on different issues catered, such as on business, startup, entrepreneurship, but also such as on other thematic areas such as on health, how to get contraceptives and other thematic areas. And since it's a cutting across platform from AGYs, young women, and minors, we do have curriculums that are specifically addressing artisanal minors and the challenges they face and how they can be trained on those issues. So that's why we say my work is more than a traditional VSLA tool, addresses learning and leakages. And we'll be able to pilot this tool in 3 countries to date. We have piloted in Tanzania for more than 1,600 users, which we have both English and Swahili version in Tanzania. We're able to pilot in Zambia for more than 400 users, and that which is in English language. And we're able to our different contents and features in language in Eswatini, which comes in Swati language for more than 400 users. So we have a great broad geographical coverage on those areas, and we'll be able to include more features such as linkages with telecom companies to have a mobile money wallet, of which members can transact to and from the mobile money wallet. But also, as well for the next features, we're looking to have a next pilot in DRC and another in Madagascar to expand further on our reach for the beneficiaries we deal with. So if we're looking at my work currently, we're looking at a platform for saving and lending for the beneficiaries to advance their financial inclusions, have access to learning materials, but also we could have access to the data generated from the users and be able to make some programmatic informed decisions from our beneficiaries. I'll pause there for the moment. Thank you all. I'll be on the booth with my colleague there to talk further in terms of what my work can do and its achievements. And I invite you all to that. Thank you so much.
Hello again. I would like to cordially thank all the vendors for their very informative presentations and thank all of you for joining our event today. We are now going to move to the expo portion of our showcase. To access vendor booths, please click on the market stand icon, which you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. It should say Expo underneath the icon. Once you are there, you can click on any of the logos of the participating vendors to learn about each of the product in greater detail and also to interact with vendor representatives. You're welcome to visit as many booths as you wish before 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You can either access the booth as an observer, or you can request to come on stage and share your video and audio and ask questions and interact with the vendors in this way. There are only 10 attendees allowed on stage in each of the booths. So if the booth is full at any given time, you may need to wait a minute or two for the spot to open. But again, you can visit the booths as an observer at any time. If you experience any difficulties, please send a chat message to Global Communities and we'll be very happy to assist you. As I mentioned before, the DSG Hub also has a virtual booth. So if you have any questions about the Hub and about our community, please come by. We'll be very happy to answer your questions and even explain how to contribute to the Hub. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and please enjoy the expo. Thank you.